From the courtroom to the center of South Africa's corruption debate, Advocate Malesela Teffo remains a figure who divides opinion and draws national attention. Now appointed as the head of intelligence at the Forum for South Africa, Advocate Teffo is stepping into a role that places him at the heart of questions around accountability, oversight and civic intervention. Bahai Tudumelang, a very good evening. My name is Thabo Molokoane. Welcome to this edition of Soweto Today. Tonight we are joined in studio by Advocate Malesela Teffo, the newly appointed head of intelligence at the Forum for South Africa, for an in-depth conversation on his appointment, his approach to intelligence-led accountability, and the controversies that have kept him in the public spotlight. He joins us this evening on the show. Advocate, much appreciated for taking the time. Good evening.
Evening, Thabo, and thanks for having me.
Much appreciated. I think the burning question on everyone is the issue of the disbarment, which transpired and, led to you being taken out of court with the situation that happened when you were still doing the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Let's maybe just get a sense of actually what does this mean for you, as a legal practitioner. Are you still operating? Do you still, practice in this regard?
Thank you for coming to that point, Thabo. I just need to clarify it for the viewers once and for all. So thanks for this opportunity.
Yep.
Yes, I'm still very much advocate of the High Court in this country. Mainly when the people or when the viewers don't see me at Senzo Meyiwa case, because I came in the space of the viewers' places been known by the Senzo Meyiwa case. So when they don't see me doing that case, they really believe that I'm disbarred. Actually, I'm not disbarred. So, but now something wrong happened by the Pretoria High Court, whereby they took the fraudulent judgment that was issued by acting judge by then, Advocate Thembi Bukako, and Justice Nyati. They were appointed by the then Deputy Judge President, Opreli Dwaba, just to make a judgment to say, to find me, guilty, say that I'm struck of the role, so that they can use it to go and remove my name from the National Gazette.
Yeah.
Once you are admitted as an advocate or attorney, your name goes to the Department of Justice. They call it in National Gazette. Yeah. So I've been admitted on the 5th of January 2009 as an advocate at Pretoria High Court by the Justices Raulinga and Buata. So here I've got an evidence, the living testimony. I brought these documents, Thabo. This is my enrollment certificate. You can see. Unfortunately, there's something that I need to address first in relation to that. So, at one stage, it was then by the time when I was doing this case, actually from the 2018, I started to stay in Rivonia. I was in Rivonia. Yeah. Yes, and then because I've worked about 800 meters away in Sandton Police Station. That's where I worked, started to work. But now we stayed here in Rivonia. Now we were like a nomadic, moving place to place. So I had my qualification, my certificates and everything. They were like, every time when you move, the frame will break. Yeah. So my wife ended up taking all the certificates out of the frames, put them in one envelope. Yeah. Yes, so.
That's how it got damaged.
That's how it got damaged. So that's how it got damaged. It's not only it. Yeah. Also certificate of degree, my matric certificate. You see, so I still going to renew them. So now this is my certificate of enrollment. Yes, so I made a copy there.
So basically, before we get into your work with FOSA, basically, you will still be in the courts to deal with other matters.
I'm still in the court dealing with other matters. Yeah. And from the day, remember the date of alleged disbarment, or a strike of the role. That judgment stated the 16th of September 2022. From the same date of the 16th of September 2022, I didn't even appear to court when they delivered it, because I knew that was a circus.
Yeah.
So they called me to come. Judge Nati, secretary, and the Bukako secretary, they called me to come to court for the delivery of the judgment. I said, no, deliver it. That is not for me. Deliver it, then bring it to me, then I'll see. After deliver, I'll take it from there. So the following week, I had about 3 matters at the labor court. I've been doing the job as an advocate since from the alleged 16th September of 2022. I never stopped doing my job. But only that when the viewers don't see me on Senzo Mewa case, they believe that rumors or that the perception that I'm struck with the role.
You know, speaking about the Senzo Mewa murder trial, I mean, you've built a strong profile over the years as a legal practitioner. You know, I want to understand what really motivated you to take cases that attract rather intense, you know, some would say a quote of public opinion and all these things, but they've got, you know, the public interest at heart. What really attracts you? Is it your passion to, you know, for accountability?
Definitely so. Actually, peace-loving person, law and order, justice, tranquility. Generally, I love justice for the people and for my people of South Africa. You see. So, in the labor, I've got the Constitutional Court judgment in the labor matters.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm specializing in labor. The love of labor developed while I was still in the police. I was a shop steward. Actually, throughout the 19 years that I've been in the police, I've been the shop steward. I've been doing the cases of the police, very difficult cases. So the case that I have, it was after I left the police. The judgment was delivered on the 10th of December 2015. It was a case of the late, unfortunately, my client has passed on. It was G.J. Baloyi. He was the superintendent at the Mankweng Hospital. So I did this case. It was dismissal. He returned. He was reinstated after 10 years of dismissal. In that case, the Constitutional Court judgment. So in that, because I think this thing of being enemized by the state, that is coming from a long way. Because that case is 227/2014. My name is not there. It's only my attorney. Because the state attorney threatened my attorney by that time to say, if you can say that Advocate Teffo was your briefing counsel in this matter. And as junior as I was, and I was 2 years by that time doing the cases.
Advocate, we're going to park it there. I want us to get into your work as the head of intelligence there at FOSA. We're going to take a quick ad break. When we come back, let's delve deep into it. Your core objectives, since you know you've got a tough task of dealing with accountability in this very difficult moments that the country is facing. We're going to take a quick short ad break. When we return, we turn our focus on Advocate Malesela Teffo's new role at the Forum for South Africa. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Soweto Today. Much appreciated for taking the time and joining us this evening as we talk all things power, accountability with Advocate Malesela Teffo, who is the head of intelligence at Forum for South Africa. There, he's joining us in studio this evening. Advocate, I mean, as we continue the conversation, let's talk about your primary objective. As the head of intelligence in FOSA. I mean, one of your, let me say, what was quoted about you was, you're going to deal with, corrupt politicians and crooked cops. Yeah. Those are the, exact words that were quoted there. What is your core mandate there?
Yes, thank you. Firstly, in relation to my work as the head of intelligence for the FOSA, I started the intelligence while I was still in the police. Till I was started, like I said, not so far. My work of investigation, I started while I was in Santon Police Station. I was in the section called CIG. CIG is a crime intelligence gathering. So that's where I'm coming from. Now, in relation to my current role, as you can see that the current situation in our country is not good. So I've been with FOSA actually as far as last year, from last year, October.
Yeah.
Yes, so I've been with them, I met them, the president and the FOSA team. I'm also having the position anyway. Other than head of intelligence, I'm having the position at the forum itself.
Yeah.
So yes, now in this along, we've identified certain cases that I can call them maybe the court cases that have been there in the space.
Yeah.
You'll know that where my passion lies, starting with the Senzo Mewa case.
Yeah.
Is the one on the list as well. Actually, it's number one, because we met the Mewa family representative, Sifiso Stengle Mewa.
Yeah.
Myself and the president of FOSA, Thabo Molokoane, and then, but not except that, I've been the watching brief in this case, the 375, the second docket. So now our meeting with FISO, we have resolved by saying that even the families of the 4 accused before Pretoria High Court,
yeah,
they need me back at the case. Because even them, I've clarified about myself not being disbarred, I am even able to practice and everything. So they requested that this year I should go back to this matter. And the bonus on top of this is that there's a new sheriff in town at the NPA, Advocate Malesela.
yeah.
Yes. So he's going to get the baptism of fire from next week, the first week of February. So the things will start from there, you see. So yeah, I've got some cases that we are going to go through them. We're going to deal with them as FOSA, you see.
So besides the Senzo Mewa case, which case also is included? Is it another high-profile case? And also, in terms of the collaboration, will you be able to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies so that there's no duplication in terms of the work that is being done currently? And so, how are you going to navigate that whole space?
Yes, that's correct. Let me just give you a typical example from Senzo Mewa case. Currently, Senzo Mewa case, the one 636,
yeah,
is now done by the Judicare of Legal Aid South Africa. So we have written the letter to the Legal Aid South Africa that they should withdraw their Judicare from this case so that I come in. How am I going to come in this matter? I myself, last year in July, I've also registered the foundation. We call it Malesela Teffo Pro Bono Foundation. I made some presentation before Justice Cameron, who was the inspecting head of the prisons. I've made the presentation about the Pro Bono Foundation, that I'm going to represent people in prison and everything criminally. And even now, otherwise, there are a lot of the cases that I'm busy with now, other than being under FOSA. So FOSA will be collaborating with the Malesela Teffo Pro Bono Foundation. So I'm going to take this case from this Judicare of Legal Aid in the Senzo Mewa case on the pro bono arrangements. We're not going to be paid. Yes, unlike them. Going to do this case within 3 years. We are already having the deadline. Within 3 months, the case of Senzo Mewa must be finalized. Yes.
Just before we go for an ad break, because I'm looking at what we still need to discuss as we wind down the conversation. In terms of what's been happening within the criminal justice system, particularly, I know that you will also answer that after the ad break, but the issue of high-ranking officials that are corrupt, I think it's one of the burning issue currently, especially within the SAPS ranks and also from the political space. Do you think that you guys will be able to crack it?
Definitely so. What I like is about to solve those issues of the corrupt police. It doesn't need any other thing that may be hindrance to us. It needs a book. It's there. For example, we've got the National Commissioner, General Fani Masemola, who was appointed, but he does not have a security clearance. In terms of the law, you cannot appoint the person at his rank without the security clearance. You see, so all the hierarchy of South African Police Service. You tell me any general in South African Police Service. For me, being in the police, having worked at the head office, I was the bodyguard of the general myself. So tell me any general in the South African Police. I will tell you how many skeleton is in his wardrobe. So I already know where I'm going to unveil all these worms and everything. You see. So according to me, if I had the control of everything, I would approach the office, the OCJ, Office of Chief Justice, to make sure that the South African Police Service is put under Section 100A, under administration. Dissolve everyone. Because from Masemola has got the case, a tender fraud case of the bulletproof. In that case, the case is there at the IDEC, together with Lieutenant General Mkonazi. They've got the case of tender fraud. You've got your DNC, the Deputy National Commissioner for the Whistleblower, Lieutenant General Musikiri. He's got the case of shoplifting at Macro to the value of 10,000. See, you've got the foreigner, Lieutenant General Nsia Dineo. Now she's calling herself Nkogwa. That is a Lesotho foreigner. My clients, Patricia Mashale, they did bring they requested, they approached the Home Affairs to make investigation. Investigation was done, and it was found that this woman is indeed a foreigner, Lesotho national.
Advocate, we're going to take a quick ad break because I do not want to interject there because it's a very important information that you are giving us. We're going to take a quick ad break. Advocate Malesela Teffo at his new role as the head of intelligence there at FOSA. Let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we wind down the conversation, just get a sense of what would be the plans moving forward. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Soweto Today. Much appreciated for joining us. We're still with Advocate Malesela Teffo, the head of intelligence at FOSA, diving into his mission against corruption. Advocate, as we wind down the conversation, I mean, there's some cases that you're going to be dealing with. I mean, my question basically is, what would be the plans moving forward, with this new position that you have and the cases that you will be dealing with?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. As I said, that is given. Agreement resolution is there. I'm going back to Senzo Mewa case as per the request of FOSA and the families. So, and then other than Mewa case, we've got also the Babita Togrant murder case. You'll know that the whistleblower from the Tembisa Hospital, Luti. Yeah. Yes. So we met the brother of Babita Togrant. And we discussed about this matter. Indeed, he's happy for our involvement as FOSA and Malesela Teffo Pro Bono Foundation. And then among them, they need us to help him to establish Babita Togrant Trust Fund and as well as a foundation in the name of Babita and for her children. Yes, so this is what we are going to do. And fortunately, I've got the knowledge about it. By the time when I was in Sun City, the people who were involved in the shooting, they were there. And then in this case, there was a plea bargain. See, people were given 20 years, but they will be in prison for 8 years. We know it cannot even 8 years, 4 years, they are going to go out. So, yes, number two, Babita. And then we've got another case that is not known, is a Bafana Siveko murder case. Bafana Siveko stays in Naledi in Soweto. He was killed by the police, Hillbrook police, and the JMPD. So they killed him at his house when he was with his girlfriend at the back room. So, yeah, they choked him and suffocated him, those police. They are not the police from Naledi, but the police coming from Hillbrook. They've done that, and then the matter is with IPED. IPED is doing nothing about this matter. The culprit are still roaming around. Yes. It's we've spoken to Bafana's mother. Actually, it was brought by, after they heard about this, was brought by Busisiwe Sibeko, Bafana Sibeko's mother. So this is another case that we are going to do. It's a cold-blooded murder by the police. Yes. And then another case is a Mbata murder case. Mbata was a young boy of 21 years old.
The one in Klepgat, that's the one.
No. At Pageview, at next to Brixton.
Okay.
Yeah. Mbata was killed by the Brixton flying squad policeman. Yeah, Warrant Officer Bromner. He shot him in the broad daylight from the back when Mbata was running, and then he shot him from the back. And we know that Section 49 of the Criminal Procedure Act doesn't allow that, because that man was not in danger.
Yeah.
He shot him from the back while he was handcuffed from the back, and Mbata died on the spot. You see, I've been pushing for this matter to be investigated, but IPD is doing nothing about that. And the culprit is still loose. He's still working at the Brixton Flying Squad. You see, Warrant Officer Bremner. Those are the cases that we are going to dealing with them. And the last one, the other one is that one of
which one? Because we're running out of time, let's talk about how do you plan on, as we will wrap up the conversation, how do you plan on protecting whistleblowers? We've been seeing what's been happening in the country when it comes to whistleblowers. They're being killed for coming forward and exposing the truth. How do you plan on dealing with that?
Exactly. That is one of the program within our midst at the FOSA, as well as Malesela Teffo Pro Bono Foundation. And then we already having the main well-known whistleblowers. One is Patricia Mashale. We have Patricia Mashale within our midst, is our client. We've got, I've got Angel Zwalo. Angel Zwalo is a whistleblower who uncovered the corruption within Absa Bank of 180 million within Absa Bank. And after she uncovered that, before that time, actually, when ONG was working in the division called Customs and Import Division of the bank. So she's a workaholic. She was given bonus for her duty, the way she's a performer. She was given a performance bonus. And then, thereafter, she discovered there's a corruption of 180 million. And then, 2 months down the line, she was now taken for the disciplinary hearing for incapacity. 2 months ago, this person was 4 months ago, this person got a performance bonus. Now, 2 months down the line, she can no longer perform. She was taken for the disciplinary hearing. She was fired for incapacity. And in that division, because at the banks, there is still serious racism at the banks. She's the only African woman who was working in that division.
Advocate, unfortunately, we've ran out of time. I wish we could continue, but I can definitely promise you that we will have you back just to get feedback on progress in terms of the cases that you're dealing with. But I would like to thank you, much appreciated, for coming in and sharing this with us. We hope that there will be accountability in this regard. Quite a lot has been unfolding over the past few years, and then we haven't seen, the arm of the law taking its course in many of these matters. But thank you again for coming in.
Thank you, Tim.
That was Advocate Malesela Teffo. They're sharing his insights on justice accountability and FOSA's mission to tackle corruption following his recent appointment as FOSA's Head of Intelligence. That brings us to the end of tonight's discussion. Remember to share your views with us at current affairs at sowetotv.co.za or simply WhatsApp us at 081-531-8857. Bye to Thabo Molokoane and the rest of the team. Thank you for watching. It's good night for now. Bye-bye.